I was really looking forward to Mog's Christmas. As soon as I found out that this was going to be coming out, I was desperate to see it. And I'm pleased to say it was completely worth the wait. I love Mog as a character. I didn't actually read the books by Judith Kerr as a child. I have no recollection of Mog from my childhood. But as I've grown up, I've come to really love the stories and indeed Mog as a cat. And I love Christmas animations. So there were so many things that appealed to me. We have a great voice cast, which I'll talk about in a moment, and I'm really pleased to say that it was just absolutely fantastic. This was, of course, released this year, 2023. In fact, it was released today, and it's directed by Robin Shaw, written by Joanna Harrison, based, of course, on the books by Judith Kerr. And we have Claire Foy as Mrs. Thomas and Benedict Cumberbatch as Mr. Thomas. We have a brilliant voice cast supporting, including Miriam Margolyes as one of the aunts, which made me very happy. And of course, we have our protagonist, Mog. And everybody is coming to the Thomas's house for Christmas, so things are very busy. There are a lot of relatives around. Mog is confused about what's going on and kind of getting stressed about the situation. And then Mog gets scared by the Christmas tree. And it becomes too much for Mog, and Mog has to leave the house. And then she refuses to come indoors. And it's all about trying to find a way to get her back in the house and to help her understand what Christmas is like. And when I was watching this, I was thinking to myself, what are the messages here? And I had a moment where I told myself that there were messages in this, both for people and for cats. And then I realised that was a nonsense thing to think. But in theory, there is a message in this for cats that Christmas is nothing to be feared. It is a very busy time and a lot is going on. But if you allow yourself the chance to familiarise yourself with everything that's happening, you'll learn that actually it's not as scary as it first seems. So a great message for cats, but also just a great message for anybody who is maybe not a fan of the hustle and bustle of Christmas. I've always loved Christmas, but I don't like crowds. I don't like things that are too chaotic. So I'm kind of on Mog's side for a lot of this. But at the same time, if you just take a step back and to study the situation, it's maybe not as scary as it looks. For example, with the Christmas tree, if Mog were to just observe the Christmas tree, she would have realised that it's inanimate and not going to hurt her. The other message, of course, and I think the most important message, is that cats, or pets in general, might become quite stressed and agitated during Christmas because you have more family over, because you have a giant tree in your house. That must be a very bizarre thing when a pet doesn't really understand why you just brought in a tree, whether it's a fake tree or a real tree. You've got decorations everywhere, everything looks different, there are so many new sights and sounds, and it's busy and chaotic and loud. Take a moment to see how your pet is responding to it. I think the message here, at least the message that I perceive, is that it can be a very stressful time, not just for people, but for animals as well. And to make sure that your animals are actually okay and that they're coping. And I think the message was delivered very well and also very emotionally. Meg's face broke my heart so many times. Meg goes through a whole range of facial expressions in this, and often she looks sad and scared, and I don't like that. I've mentioned many times I don't like sad animal films. Had this been feature length, I might have struggled to watch it because I probably would have cried all of the way through it. It's actually 20 something minutes, I think 22 minutes, which is pretty much the perfect length of time. There is a sequence in the middle, or maybe the final third, where we're pulled out of the main narrative and we have a lot of blocky shapes and solid colours, and it's a lot more creative and not really part of the main narrative. I feel like that could have been removed and we wouldn't have lost anything, but it doesn't last for too long, and the rest of the narrative, I think, is very well paced. It is beautifully animated. It's absolutely stunning to look at, absolutely breathtakingly gorgeous, both in terms of the animation style and the colour palettes. Mog's faces, as I said, were very emotional and very realistic for what I imagine Mog would be feeling at those times. It's a stunning, stunning animation, a beautiful story with, I think, some really important messages about how pets might be feeling around the holidays. as I said, I had been tremendously looking forward to this as soon as I realised it was coming out, and it has been absolutely worth the wait. Mog's Christmas is an absolute delight and definitely worth checking out.